Scary Kids Scaring Kids has one of the most tragic stories in the scene. The band's come up and short history, them working with Mod's son, and the reformation of the band after we lost the lead singer Tyson Stevens. Before we get into it, let me know in the comments if there's any bands you would like to see me deep dive. I grew up in the Valley of the Sun, so Scary Kids were local scene legends. The band's name was actually taken from a Captain Jazz song. While they were still in high school, they recorded and self-financed their first EP, After Dark. The next release we would see from the band was The City Sleeps in Flames, which came out in 2005. I don't have to tell you how good this album was or how many bangers were on here. We did get 3 music videos from it though. The Only Medicine, My Darkest Hour, and the title track. That album cover with the flames comes from the final scene of the movie Fight Club. And the song The World As We Know It is a reference to the movie 28 Days Later. The City Sleeps did so well that Scary Kids was able to release another album. Like I said, I was a fan of this scene at the time, so Scary Kids, Greeley Estates, The Word Alive, Bless the Fall, and A Change of Pace were all blowing up on the West Coast. They put out their self-titled album in 2007, and Don Gilmore, the producer, has worked with a bunch of big bands before. Their self-titled album came out in August of '07. This album is really slept on compared to The City Sleeps, but it has some heaters on here with Faces and The Deep End. I think this album was ahead of its time and is very re-listenable to this day. What's crazy is that after that album came out, they left Immortal Records and went to RCA, which is a huge record label. They were supposed to work on a third studio album, but for whatever reason, they decided to take a hiatus. Lead singer Tyson Stevens took some personal time away from the band. Craig Mabbitt stepped up to fill in for him. Brandon Bulmer, Vic Fuentes, Cove Reaver, all these people sang on tours with Scary Kids. The band decided to disband in 2010 and do a farewell tour. This is where Derek Smith, aka Mod's son, comes into play. He played drums with the band on that farewell tour in 2010. From what I can recall, Mod's son had it worked out so that he could perform before Scary Kids Scaring Kids and like do his rap thing, and then he would hop on with the band and play drums. Unfortunately, in 2014, Tyson Stevens would pass away at the age of 29. I was absolutely gutted the day that I found out that Tyson had passed away. He has been one of my favorite vocalists of all time. Years later, Scary Kids would actually reunite and do a The City Sleeps in Flames 15-year anniversary tour. They had Cove Reaver hop on vocals, Don Vetta on guitar, and Jordan Flower on bass. They actually did a bunch of tours off and on, including having one with like Kurt Travis on it. The band would go on to release another album without Tyson Stevens. They released Out of Light in 2022 and had an interesting concept with this album. Essentially had a bunch of tracks that featured different vocalists on it. So Spencer Charnas, Noah Sebastian, Cove Reaver, Lil Lotus, it was stacked with vocalists. At the time, I didn't love the concept because like I said, I grew up with this band and I just missed Tyson. But after listening to it a bunch of times, it kind of is what it is. It grew on me and some of the tracks are really good. I just support the band in general, so if they want to tour on that or make more albums in that vein, then that's up to them. So yeah, that's Scary Kids Scaring Kids. Let me know what other bands you guys would like to see me do in the future.